Hey guys, Vikas here for your live electronic music tutorials, and today I'm going to make you something a little bit special, a little bit different, guys. But before, I will have to tell you that this episode is presented by WeMakeDanceMusic.com, the largest music production marketplace on the internet. You have 14,000 items from over 500 producers who make music they love in the form of a template. Put it on our site and you can download it, put it straight into your DAW and learn a lot of things. So that's it, guys, for WeMakeDanceMusic.com. So today I'm gonna show you 5 tricks to make a really fat techno rumble. By techno rumble, I mean the root of a techno track would be how it lifts the people with the bass, the sub, the kick, you know, the element that really make techno tracks these days is that if you play in a club, sound system or something. And the first rule for this, guys, is to have this in mono. It is not necessarily 100%, but you'll have more power if it is in mono, simply because if you put it in stereo, the signal is divided between 2 speakers, and I mean they're both pushing. However, if you put it in mono, most of sound systems in clubs have a big sub that is a single thing that is also in mono, so it will translate perfectly. Of course, put in stereo, it will translate also to mono, but it's not quite the same in the mix and the power you can put to it and the relevancy to the mix. However, this is it. So I have 5 tricks for you. I'm gonna look at my notes here. First trick is gonna be to use a drum synth to make the kick. Second is gonna be to layer some kicks together to really make something super chuggy, super big. Third trick, use some sidechain and a bass to really make something rumble, to make something really move forward. Fourth, I'm gonna use a rolling bassline to make the action. I mean, the bassline will be pulsating and you're gonna have the kick punching through it. It's gonna be really interesting. I love this one. It's more melodic, techno-y. And of course, for the final 5th one, we're gonna use some toms and some drums to really make kind of more like a chuggy kind of thing that move forward. I'm gonna make all of that live for you guys, and I'm gonna make some templates below this episode. So let's get started. Let's get cracking on this techno rumble thing. So what I'm doing now is I'm using a drum synth. Drum synth are like they sample bass or sometimes wave bass, you know, sometimes it's an oscillator. So basically I show you the parameter so you really understand. It's triggered by the MIDI here. I'm using a root key, so I'll educate you guys a little bit about this. So basically you can make a track that will be easier to mix if you make it all in a key. So now my kick is in C. If I do my melodies in C or my bass in C, somehow the frequency will layer better. If you listen to any pop music, everything is tuned, the drums, everything is tuned to perfection. This is why it sounds so kind of perfect, crisp and hairy or something like that. So everybody tunes their own thing, and of course electronic music, we start with the kick. So the kick is here. It's a nice kick. Maybe to me, if I really want to make a techno rumble with it, I would put more decay. Decay mean the length of the kick will increase. Or let's just cut it first. So first you have the sweep. The sweep here is quite long, but then with the decay. And then we could add a little bit of saturation. You're gonna see saturation will make the signal kind of chuggier. If you want something more aggressive, you know, you can definitely add some saturation. You can play with the tone a little bit, but I would start with the pitch. Let's say you want to go really low. I would say an increment of 6, 12. So now we're really low. You can of course put it higher if you want something really much more. But again, if you tune the kick, you have to make sure that when you're doing the pitch, it's still on tone. And then you have the tone, which is really bringing a bit more, again, a bit more attack to the sweep, a bit more intensity to the sweep. The shape of the kick is also important. Let's crank it up. So with the shape of the kick, basically the sweep will take more room. It will be a bit longer, so the waveform would be quite different. It's actually quite important. So I'm gonna give you a bit of a demo. Let's say we're going up to the root key of this kick. I personally don't like it. I think it's C. It sounded like, I mean, this is definitely a whole lot better, and you can hear the rumble is there. And if you want, you can really exaggerate it. Now it's like full on kick. And if you have a sub, or if you have good headphones, you can definitely feel that. Now we're chugging, and again, the key, guys, is very important. And it's definitely rumbling here. This is definitely a chunky kick, and what I'm gonna do continue on this, I'm gonna cut the decay here. Also, I'm taking a bit shorter, and I'm gonna go into our second, which is layering. So I'm gonna take this drum synth, I'm gonna layer it here, I'm gonna take a second part here. Check this out, guys. So now I have a second drum synth here. What I want to do is I want to have a different kick. Heavy kick? No, I want the air kick. Something different. Maybe not air kick, actually. Something tighter. So here's the top one. Oh, something happened, I got the wrong one. So the bottom one here is our original. And then the top one here is the new one, which we could play with too, of course. I'm gonna go into this other instance of the drum synth here. You can play with, play with the tone maybe. A bit more aggressive, not really, maybe a bit, don't pitch it a little bit. Or up pitch it like this. I like this little tick. Change the shape. Add some decay. Not too much. So now we have the rumble. And, of course, we have this new layer that we put. Let's put on some snap. Snap is like the tick. I like this tick. So now that we have those two kicks, guys, I think one thing that would be great to do is to go on here and change the stereo that we have here. I'm going to select both and send it to a bus. So I'm going to create a bus here. I'm going to create bus 1. And into this, I drop a compressor. Why? So what I want to do now is to unify those two kicks together. I'm going to put the threshold lower because I don't want it to be impacted so much. I'm going to remove the release, complete really fast attack, maybe a little bit of a slower release, but we're going to see how it sounds like first. I'm going to put a little bit of compression. I wouldn't recommend pushing too far. I know some people that go really heavy. Personally, I never go above 5 decibel of compression. So without, so you can tell they're more together. Not so much. I will put a bit more ratio to have a bit more effect. And then I'm gonna go into my second one here, which I think, this one I think is a bit too loud. Let's drop it. Okay. So you have this nice plucky kind of thing. I'm gonna look at the EQ too. See if I can boost the lows. Or maybe even cut the lows. So we'll have more of this pluck kind of thing. I put a really steep EQ and open it to where we want it. And I'm gonna put the release a bit slower. If I put it to the max, guys, so it's not really compressing as well as if I have like maybe like 50 millisecond release. If I want to go into maybe really unifying them and putting a little bit of a touch to it, I could put some distortion without. It's nice. And then if I wanted to really to go further into our kick making thing, I could change the ratio. Output 100% and mean that the mix of the signal goes completely wet. I could do 1-1. Or I could do, this is dry, this is wet, and this is fully wet. I like the fully wet signal, so we're going to keep that. I could put a limiter on there. I don't think it's necessary. Putting limiters on kick is not quite a good thing. Ask Dead Mouse about it. Sorry. So now we have the second layer. You know, if I wanted to, I could go a bit berserk and take this layer here and put a really, really heavily low kick on there to complement all this. So we're going to take the drum synth here. I'm going to take the same, but I'm going to down pitch it. I'm going to drop the sweep completely. Up the saturation. So if you want to know, guys, the lower you go in frequency, the more space there is in the waveform. I don't know, if we could zoom into a kick, you would see that the waveform of a really low kick is kind of open, while the first part where the hit is going to be a bit more compressed. And what I have here, I'm going to drop the solo parts. What I have here is really, really soft. If we would have a gigantic sub, you could really feel the push of something like that. So we could add that. We could add that to the mix. So I have our 3 kick that are being sent onto this bus here with the compressor. I'll drop the volume a little bit so I'm able to bring in the other element to be able to do something here. Is I'm going to do a sidechain. That means that I will use all those kicks. I will sidechain them to a synth to do a rumble. So I'm going to use. So those are kicks. I mean, they sound great. So now I'm going to add another channel. It's going to be Alchemy for the sake of this demo. Let's call it a demo. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to take the key of my kick. I'm going to do this here. I'm going to replicate it here. I'm going to go into Alchemy here, drop the volume. I think I have, is there a bass in there? Darker volume. Go into bass. I'm going to take, I just need something that's get, so I'll have to go up a little bit in the scale so I'm able to get what I'm looking for. I'm at C1, I'm going to go to B1. So what I want to do is I don't want the what I want to do is I want to remove this little filter because the first little bit you can hear it's triggering. What I want is really just the sub. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all of that here completely and I'm going to get only the sub. Not so sure if I don't want to go a bit lower. That's better. Now we're really going to some low frequency. I would like to have the speakers. I cannot. So what I'm going to do, of course, I'm going to sidechain it. There's a compressor here. I'm going to take the sidechain. I'm going to take the instrument. I'm going to take, let's say, the tight kick, like the plucky kind of thing. I'm going to put the ratio to 4:1. Now I'm going a bit heavier on compression because it is sidechain. It's not literally compression, it's sidechain compression. I'm going to drop the auto gain here. It was actually a bit better like this. Somehow I'm not super keen on the tone of this synth. It's not quite what I am looking for. More like it. Now I'm going to drop the volume. I have to say, guys, as somebody who's been mixing a lot of electronic music for many years and mini sound system, a sub bass like that is fairly, or let's just put it properly, extremely difficult to mix. So if you want to do something like that, be geared properly or just tune your mix properly because this is a tough one. I'm going to mix it in the speaker. I'm going to leave it in the template for you guys. That's about right. So you have this rumble, you have this big thick thing that is in the back of your track. It's perfect. It's just what you need, really. So let's go into number 4, which would be rolling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bassline we created here, and I'm going to just do a really quick pattern. So it's really rolly. So at every beat, there's going to be a hit. Make sure that they're all in tune by doing this. And to do this, guys, I can use even, did I do a mistake? No, I can't even use the same alchemy, except I will open it here. So the rolling bass line, so what I've done first, I would have to tell you, I replicated the channel simply of my sub bass. And now to have the rolling feeling, I can remove the sub. And I can go into Alchemy, of course, and go into the main here and just open the cutoff. I'm too low, I have to say. It's a bit flabby, I would call it. So that we can play with, we can even go in here. Can play here with the delay to have a better feel. And of course open the cutoff. Not so much in there to open. I want it to be like this, of course. We have all those drums in here. And then now we have like a rolling, bass line that is quite cool. However, I think that I was playing with this and I changed. Ooh, that's a lot better. So I just changed the oscillator, guys. So if you want to, that would be more kind of afterlifey, kind of squarey. Triangle is cool. The big and dirty is what I like. Definitely has a feel. If we open it, can add a bit of noise, a little bit less. The noise will give it some thickness, definitely, but not too much. I just feel like starting to making a track. We can add the sub again. Ooh, nice. So now that we have that, guys, we have a start to a track, of course, which I will make something with this. I'm gonna make a template for you guys, of course, with this as a starting point. Now, for the fifth and final kick of this episode, I'm gonna use some toms. So, actually, I'm gonna use this kick here. I'm gonna go here. And I'm using again a drum synth. I love drum synths. I think this is amazing. Percussions here. I have a deep tom. Perfect. This is what I'm looking for. And I'm gonna go and create a pattern that will augment what we are looking for. I think it's probably too high. I'm gonna go here. Sure that I have my patterns right. I have this here, cut this. So not what I was looking for, guys, somehow. Kind of messed it up. Okay, let's. So the stem is cool, but it's really in the back, kind of chilling. I want something else. Oh. Did I? Let's try to. Tone is good. Bit more snap. Cool with the noise. Not really what I was looking for, guys. I guess this is what I have. I have a membrane, I have a tight tom. Let's try. I'm gonna keep this. Do another channel. Go here and try another tom. I'm gonna mute this one. I think the tight tom. A little bit better, not quite what I was looking for. Ooh, that's a nice membrane right here. really into kind of melodic techno-y kind of thing. Let's bring both of them together. So if we take both of these and actually send it to another channel, because we're still on this drum channel that we created earlier, I'll also have to rename them because it's a little bit confusing. I'll just send it to stereo. So I don't want them to compress with the kicks, of course. That sounds sweet. So what I would like to do now is I'm going to take more of a drum machine designer here. I'm going to go pick some other toms, some 909 toms, and now I'm going to get what I was looking for. Let me just pick the right channel, so I'm going to do that here. There's a low tom right here. So I think I'm too high. So I like those, but I would like to contrast them a little bit, so I will change the pattern so they will. So those are good now. They have a lot of groove to them. I also like to send it to the delay and actually bring the delay up to kind of create this swirling effect. You can hear the delay here. What I'm going to do with the delays, I'm going to cut the lows. I really feel like start making a track with you guys, but this is all the time I have for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed those 5 Techno Rumble kit. Starting this little melodic techno thing, I'm going to make a template for you guys, including all those kicks and all the tricks and everything. It's going to be amazing, I promise. And until next time, guys, may the sounds be with you.